Ahoy hoy and welcome to Players in Book. We're short a couple players. One might be coming in a little bit late, but in the meantime, I'm going to dive into our credits real quick and then throw it over to Katie. But cartography by Shane Peku, cartography by Shane Peku Sci-Fi, maps by Luke Stratton, maps by Eightfold Paper, music by Tabletop Audio, character tokens by Greek 46, custom tokens by Shane Peku Tokens, overlay art by Pack Stream, custom world map by Freckles Sketches, and logo by Luke McCay. And yeah, welcome to Players in Book. Katie.
Yes. Hi. Hi
Do you want
everybody.
me
I
to?
know
Do you
I
want
know
me
the overlay is borked. I'm working on it right now. Apologies, y'all. My name is Katie Downey, aka Goblin Katie. I am going to be the redhead that you'll see on camera shortly. Um I am your friendly neighborhood goblin, Katie. I am going to be playing the one and only Tallulah O'Draken, a Triton College of Eloquence bard this evening. Want to reiterate, hey, we love our mods. Thank you, Strike, and thank you to Billith as well. We have this awesome game that we work with, and it is called Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms. And they are kind enough to give us this wonderful code that you can see on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, or you can hit exclamation point code in chat, as our wonderful Mad Doc 21 did. But that will give you a code for a free Electrum chest, and it is absolutely fabulous loot that will help you in the game immensely. Good evening, who is that? Of Lichen and Moss. Ooh, I like that name. I like that. Anyways, that's what I got for you tonight, and I will be working on the overlay as we're getting started because we had some unexpected shuffles, and so I'm working on getting everybody set. So ignore the chaos behind the scenes. Lauren, to you.
I am the chaos behind the scenes. Hi, I'm Lauren Urban. You can find all the stuff I'm doing at lauren-urban.com. You can also find Orkira in that Idle Champions game that Goblin Katie was just talking about. But I am not playing that character today. Today I'm playing Fairlos, I almost said College of Eloquence Bard. I'm like, no, that's someone else. The the cleric, Tempest cleric, who, unlike everybody else, is a little more concerned with the fact that we've been boarded by pirates and not how attractive they are. Now, I would like to say Lauren is very aware of how attractive all these pirates are, and Fairlos is very well aware of how attractive these pirates are, objectively. She just doesn't care.
That's fair.
I love Fairless so much.
She has other plans and she has other priorities, and the attractiveness of the crew are very low on her list of priorities right now.
Fairless has very clear priorities and very few fucks to spare for shit that's not in those priorities. And I just
Exactly.
went like full on sailor language. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That was our one. That was our one.
That's our one. Everybody gets
That was our one as a Marvel team.
I am Jeremiah Sumerian, the DM of this game, and I am the chaos in the foreground. Um, the uh, but I would say that yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and dive into the summary for this episode or for last episode. This is currently episode 25, which is wild to me, of Players and Book's first campaign, The Secondhand Souls. Previously on Players and Book, Animal, Vegetable, Mineral. But I'll be true to the song I sing and live and die a pirate king. Oh, far better to live and die, pirates of Penzance.
Yes.
Nice.
The second-hand souls are talking to the philosophy professor about the books they recovered and what bits of knowledge he's been able to glean since yesterday when he first acquired them. The souls discuss a bit about how character development and fate are basically the same thing when you look at it from the viewpoint of a character in a story. It is concluded that perhaps the darkness dreaming will only be decipherable once the events depicted in it actually happen. After that, the souls go to speak to their history teacher. Roland doesn't seem to have any dramatic insights into their adventures, but they end up in a discussion about belief and creation of the world. Additionally, Roland once met St. Augustine in the past, though all he recalls is that the saint was a dragonborn that wouldn't normally breathe fire, and yet was able to breathe fire anyway. The party then depart the school for the docks, purchase and load 10 tons of grain, and fill the magician in on their purpose, leaving out just a few things about the philosopher. After a day of sailing, the souls are stopped by Kasdan Clayton of the Sisters Zavala. He comes aboard, but upon discovering the souls are on a mission of mercy, offers them cannon and help in their quest. The souls go to board the Sisters Zavala in order to plan out the breaking of the blockade of the Ile des Ombres. It is 1:24 p.m. on Graves Day, the 24th of Dreams. The sun is still up and will be for quite some time. The souls are still at least a day out from their destination, but a submarine captain around the Ile des Ombres has just sunk another ship attempting to run the blockade. Now you guys are moving over to the other ship, and we're going to say at least until until they either get here or don't, that the absent players are going to remain aboard the lessons learned, and that your characters, Furlos and Dominique, will be heading over to the Sisters of Allah along with Kasdan, who is going to pull up and place a gangplank to allow you guys to walk over to the Sisters of Allah.
Actually, before we do this,
Okay.
intro video. Go!
Oh,
Different.
We're back. 'Cause
hi.
Okay.
clicked the button too soon because my finger twitched.
Okay. You know
Uh,
what? Let's just ask. What does different mean?
Yeah, y'all, I know Lauren, someone was saying Lauren sounds a bit off. Does she sound loud, soft, tinny? What's the description there?
And I will help by turning to our two absent. Well, the characters are here, the players are not. So I'm going to turn to Esqua and reveal it and go, listen, I know y'all are itching to get on over there and meet the crew. I'm sure that's all you want to do is meet the crew. I would ask that you stay here for the moment, and Tallulah and I will go on over and do a little bit of planning. And then when we're done planning, we'll swap and you can go on over and take us an assessment for yourself. Then we'll get back together and decide how we want to actually finish this, okay? Because I don't feel comfortable leaving just Kara here watching the ship.
Sounds fair to me.
And they sort of generally agree with you, rather than me trying to do a voice of
That's
everybody.
totally fair. 100% fair. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. Tallulah, shall we go and plan with pirates? That's a sentence I never thought I'd say out loud, but here we are.
Captain, lead the way, and I will happily assist you however I can.
Sure.
The dark-skinned elf with the pink streak in their hair moves away from the wheel. Another one of the elvish crew takes over the wheel and starts to come over to the gangplank that you guys are crossing, or at least that Kazan is crossing, and they look very irritated. Let's put it that way.
Can I get a sense? So
Make an
Fairlos
insight
is
check if you
yeah,
want.
Fairlos is trying to not look irritated, but the reason she's irritated is because we've been boarded by pirates. I think Fairlos, she's gonna do the insight, but her gut is like, is this person irritated because they're pirates and now they don't get to board us? Well, let's see. 14.
What you can tell is that they are irritated with Kasdan specifically.
Okay.
Interesting. All right.
With a 14, that's about as much as you can get out of that.
Okay.
Can I insight?
You can, although as Kasdan crosses over, they do walk up and like immediately start talking to Kasdan and pointing in your direction. What did you roll?
Rolling
say?
it now. Oh God, no, that's a 9.
Yeah, same thing.
I'm
as before.
distracted by the hotness.
I mean, if you really want to know what's up, I mean, they are talking about you as you guys pass over.
Yeah.
Both of you guys have very good perceptions.
We do, yeah. 16 for
I'd
me.
say with
Same
a
for me.
16 passive perception, if you guys want to try and make an active check to listen in on their conversation,
Yes.
roll both of you roll perception with advantage.
Nice.
Yeah. My ears.
Oh yes, double 19s. So
Nice.
25.
All right. Both of you picked this up, but to be clear, Tallulah is going to definitely like get the complete 100% picture of what's going on. And it is here's an interesting bit. Kasdan's sort of ostentatious presentation drops when he's talking quietly to this other elf.
Okay. Let me switch here.
And he says, I decided that we were going to give them some of our cannons because they're going to go, and gets interrupted immediately by the other person. We're pirates. We take stuff from other people. We don't go over to their ships and give them stuff. That's not how it's supposed to work. Look, we can't keep doing this.
Keep?
We're gonna run
he
out
said
of
keep
stuff.
doing this?
That was what they said. We can't keep doing this.
Cool, thank you.
We're going to run out of stuff eventually. This isn't the way it's supposed to work. And Kasdan reaches forward and puts his hand under the dark-skinned elf's chin and lifts it up slightly and says, well, you're not supposed to be so much better looking than me, but we all have our crosses to bear. I think that these people are trying to not, they're doing what we set out to do in the beginning. They're not trying to be good, they're trying to do good.
Aww.
And look at them, they're kids. We should be encouraging this. And that's as far as their conversation gets before you guys cross over. And they kind of break apart.
I
Okay.
will, as this is all going, I will be whispering the conversation to Furlos so that she's up to speed on everything as well.
And Verlos is hearing it all as well, but for the sake of once again is trying to patch up things with Tallulah, at least on the surface, we'll let her whisper the conversation and won't be like, I can hear it all, but we'll let it happen. As we get over to the ship, they'll both kind of stop. How many people are on this pirate ship? Like, what's the crew complement?
Crew complement's somewhere around 40.
Okay, so it's a pretty hefty crew.
Yeah.
And knowing now that at least recently they've been reverse pirating, what's the morale situation? Are these men of low morale fiber or what's going on?
These people are pretty actually like surprisingly in good moods.
Okay.
They seem like they are very happy with the way things are currently going.
Okay. So it's perhaps only the person he's talking to who might be a little put off.
You guys clocked Jazz, the character that is the dark-skinned elf, as probably the first mate last time you guys had a session, because when Kasdan left the wheel, even before that, this dark-skinned elf was the one giving orders, do this, do that, do the other stuff. and you guys clocked it as clocked them as probably the first mate.
Okay. And one last thing, so Kasdan gives this little tiny impassioned speech about they're doing good. We want to do good. Can I actually look on over? Is Jazz at all moved by this? Or is Jazz like, but I wanted to be a real pirate?
I'd say this is a separate insight. So go ahead and roll roll another insight.
Sure. That's a natural one.
Oh no.
So I think in this moment, Fairlos cannot help, despite the fact that, like, she does not like pirates at all, like actual real wants to plunder and do stuff pirates.
Yeah.
There's a weird sort of respect for the fact that Jazz wants to do the thing that they're trying to do. Like, this is our job and you're stopping us from doing our job. So she can't read how he's feeling because she's very conflicted with the idea of, like, I hate what you're doing and I hate that you're trying to do what you're doing, but props to the fact that you're standing up for trying to do what you want to do.
Right. And yeah, Jazz sort of just shakes their head and goes back over to the wheel. And Kasdan walks over, gathers you two together and says, all right, so, and he points to some of the smaller cannons aboard his ship. I think those will probably be the right size for your deck, your top deck. Would you like to have about 4 of them? We can borrow from our both our chase and we'll just grab them from the chase cannons.
How much would 4 cannons slow our ship?
Not very much. They're about 600 pounds each, which
Okay.
is a lot, but not like,
But
you guys are
not
carrying,
spread out over a boat. And,
you guys are carrying 10 tons of
Yeah.
cargo, and it's not slowed you down considerably. It's slowed you down, but not considerably so.
Okay. Captain, I think that sounds like a good idea. What do you think?
I think that sounds very generous. Let's hold off and actually move in the cannons first, and let's talk strategy.
Right. Yes. Okay. Yes. Karen, we have a planning to do under below decks. Meet us on the deck of many things.
That is amazing. What is the deck of many things? Tell me it's a ship. Tell me it's a ship.
I would assume it is a deck that includes a lot of things.
It's the second deck of our ship, actually.
Oh, that's so good. I love it.
Also, to be clear, I stole that from chat from last week.
Nice.
I don't remember who said it, but someone said it, and
Thank you,
I thought
chat.
it was funny. This is collaborative storytelling with not just the players, but also
Everybody in chat.
You have a good idea. I'm gonna take it. I'm sorry. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
I'm assuming we've come on over with some of our maps.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll follow wherever we're going.
Okay.
And head to the deck of many things. Sorry, Lauren had that moment of, would Fairlos know what the deck of many things is? Well, and
I think that's a famous enough artifact that
But like, this is a different world. Like, is it in this world? And yeah, I don't know. I've decided.
I mean, as popular as it is in the modern world, and given the ties that we've seen, it stands to reason that even if you didn't know it before, maybe you do now.
Maybe, I don't know. Also, at this moment, I've kind of decided that no, Fairlos doesn't know what it is because I want at least one of my characters to have an innocent enough existence for a little while.
Oh, I love it. Okay. Protect the cinnamon bun.
Listen, she's already had enough existential crises going on. She doesn't need to know what the deck is.
Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry, my bad.
But Kasdan and the drow with the parasol from earlier
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
follows you down to the deck. Let's just go ahead and throw up the portraits again to remind the audience of what everyone looks like. I don't know. Are those showing up currently?
Mm-hmm. Yes, let me go to map screen. Hang on.
And is this oh no, they're hot. Is this Karen?
This is Karen.
Okay.
Karen's a cutie patootie.
Karen is the reason that two of our crewmates are staying back at the ship right now.
Mm-hmm.
Fanning themselves.
Uh-huh.
And of course, this is Kasdan. Let's just cover
Captain
that again so
Hottie
everyone's
McHotterson.
reminded. And Kasdan, when he called out for Karen, one of the other crewmates that was nearer to Karen turned to her and signed what he said to her.
And we established that all of us know sign.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. I got it on my character sheet.
Nice.
And it seems that she only signs. So if you're going to communicate with her, that is how you would communicate with her. And we're not. She doesn't. There will be no voice involved. She's
Sure.
just going to speak under normal circumstances. But yes. She's like, okay, so what are we doing now? And she's just got this sort of sense of, okay, what crazy shit are we about to get into?
How do you feel about blockades?
I've had, anytime a bunch of ships are all in one place, it makes it very easy to shoot them.
This is true. This is true. And that's a healthy attitude, I think, going into what we're going into.
Well, Karen here is the resident sniper of the group.
Ooh.
You didn't think she was hanging out on just hanging off the edge for fun? Well,
I
a little
look-
bit of it's for fun.
I double checked that parasol. Is it actually a gun?
It isn't.
Okay. Damn.
Make an Arcana check, though.
Okay.
That would have been cool.
That would have been amazing.
Yeah.
Dirty 20.
The end of it, it's not a gun, but the end of it, like the part of the top of the parasol,
Yeah.
does have some sort of like energy blast marks.
It's a wand. It's even better.
Me and Karen are going to be chatting. Okay.
So the short and the long of it is we are trying to deliver some food to some Bregians who are currently under siege, and they are blockaded off. And it sounds like your captain has kindly offered to run the blockade and maybe, if the planning goes correctly, help pull a couple of ships away so that we can sneak our way through.
Captain, may I add some information that may be notable to these individuals? House Jameau is under siege.
Oh, well, that explains a lot of why the captain would want to help. The House of Jameau are quite influential in our community.
Indeed. And they're currently under siege from the Crown of Brescia. They have managed to wall
Wow,
themselves
a
in.
lot has happened while we were gone.
It's gotten bad. It's gotten
It
real
happened very fast as well.
bad. They've started arresting protesters. And one of Jameau's daughters decided to protest and was arrested. They managed to get her out, and they and some of the other folks who've been targeted by the Queen, they fled the city. And so we're going to try to help get them food and supplies.
Make an insight check, both of you.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Oof.
8.
Better than my 5.
Not rolling well on insight today.
Mm-mm.
So anyway,
Yeah.
the well, okay. So yes, okay. The daughter, you said. What do you know which daughter you said?
I do. What was her name? Esme?
It was Esme. Yes.
It was Esme.
Okay. And she's not under arrest anymore?
No, she was broken free. They're all back at the Jameau estate now.
Uh with those insight checks, you're not going to pick anything up other than, I mean, not going to tell you what it means, but you do see Karen and Kasdan lock eyes for a minute. Some sort of meaningful exchange between the two of them, and then they go back to what they were doing.
When they lock eyes, detect thoughts.
Okay.
Mm.
Surface thoughts. For Karen is, oh, that's good. And
Oh, that's good. To which part?
yeah, well, it's a surface thought.
Okay.
Kasdan, immediate. Well, this lasts for like a minute, right, or something like that.
No, I think it's 10. Let me double check.
10 minutes. Okay.
Wait. Nope, it is 1. I'm sorry, I'm thinking of something
Okay.
else.
And Kasdan is gonna go. Oof, are we gonna have to actually get involved in the rebellion? I mean, honestly, that would be pretty cool.
Awesome. Okay.
But since you have like a minute of time to, believe you're gonna pick up context. Karen keyed in on one of the Jameau daughters being arrested immediately
Mm-hmm.
because Esme and Karen are exes.
Ah, okay. Okay. Um,
A minute of surface thoughts is probably going to pick that up. So
Okay.
go ahead.
I'm just going to, while this is going on and they're having their little silent conversation, I'm going to turn to Furlos.
I don't know.
And
I don't think they're having a silent conversation. I think they just shared a look.
oh, it was
Right,
just
that
a look.
you're picking up
Okay,
surface thoughts
okay,
on.
okay.
So I think this is just happening in a
Yep.
minute,
Got
in
it,
a
okay.
moment. So yeah.
So then, after a couple seconds silence, I'm just gonna say, from what I understand, Esme made it out fine. They've reunited with Dominique there.
Dominique's alive?
She is?
Is okay, real quick. That was actually a thought.
Oh, okay.
She
Thank
did,
you for
yeah,
clarifying.
sorry, yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna clarify. That was a thought.
Yep.
Dominique's alive, but she doesn't say that out loud.
Noted. I don't know. Is there a Lady Jameau or is she deceased?
There, as far as you know, the Lady Jameau, there is no Lady Jameau.
Okay.
Most, not no, all of the Duke Jameau's daughters are from mistresses,
Okay. Got it.
but he has made sure to quote unquote legitimize under the crown's authority all of his children, regardless of their parentage.
Gotcha. Okay. Oh, yay. Um, right. Well, outside of that, all I can tell you is that Captain here is putting together the plan, so I think any strategy that we might team up on would be best played off her.
Okay. Well, Kasdan, what do you and Kasdan's gonna say? And he is signing and speaking at the same time, to be clear.
I think we're probably all
Yeah, I
doing
think all
that.
of us are,
yeah,
knowing
yeah.
that there's someone here who, yeah.
Yeah. But he is going to go, I think that the best plan is going to be the one that causes the most trouble for the Brescians. So, our friend here, Karen, should be able to get their attention from very far away. And once they chase us, we should be good. However, and I don't know if you know this, the Brescians have access and have begun to develop underwater ships.
We've had him for a while.
Shit. All right. I thought that was going to be fun new information for you. All right.
Sorry.
Well, and we don't have a we've generally avoided piracy of Brescian vessels for the simple fact of we can't determine how well protected they are anymore because of the underwater destroyers. I don't know what to call them.
They is there a term for them? Because I was going to go with Nautilus, and then I remembered, well, Nautiloid is a thing. I should double check that.
They have been referred to as submarines.
Submarines.
Oh, right, like out of the history books. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that makes some sense. I guess they are very similar in description. Yes.
It's also
okay.
linguistically accurate.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are submarine. Yes, I like that. That's fun. Okay, so since we can't be sure of that, unless you have some methods of detecting that we don't know about,
Method of detecting what? I'm sorry.
the underwater ships.
We might be able to.
What's
We've
the
been
plan?
experimenting with some magics. We might be able to, but I can't guarantee it. If nothing else, I can slip under the hull and watch.
It's fair, though. In our experience, even being the water does occlude your view quite a bit. Becomes very difficult to see past just even a few dozen feet when you're underwater. So,
Does Essequa have dark vision? Oh wait, do I?
all of you have dark vision
Yeah, yeah.
now. Essequa's is the
I think the
sunglasses
spell
of
lets you
night.
see further, doesn't it?
Well, the best you're gonna get is 60 feet, and that's not that far.
Yeah.
Yeah, the problem with underwater is murky.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not
yeah.
dark.
Okay.
It's not the darkness. It's the it's literally
How
there's
do
stuff
we
in the water that
how do we deal
overwhelms.
with that as Brescians then when we leave the city?
Well, you generally don't.
Okay.
You know where there are roads, for lack of a better way to put it. There are pathways between locations
I'm
that you
thinking
can
like
use,
people
and you're
going
not blind. You're
hunting
not
and stuff
blind.
like that.
You're not blind like to hear.
Yeah.
You can see the like immediate surroundings,
Okay.
but like it
So
is
not like deep
kind of
sea pitch
dangerous.
black,
Well,
but
yeah, it is
murky and
kind of dangerous
yeah.
to a degree, because the best sight you will ever have is generally about 60 feet in every direction.
Okay.
And that means if something if
I didn't know that.
if the Tarrasque is more than 60 feet away from you and it's not moving or making noise, you wouldn't know until
Yeah.
it did.
Until you did, and then you'd be sad. And chewy.
So the deeps are still pretty terrifying, even for people who live there and like
Probably more so because we know what's down there.
Yeah.
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 All right.
Yeah.
We do have a diviner on our ship. They might be able to assist us with that.
This is me as the DM going, I hadn't thought of that, but yeah, he probably could.
That's actually exactly what I was thinking of. Like, we're not going to be able. Let's just say this out loud. We're probably not going to be able to find the sub directly. It's probably going to be through indirect means.
I could tell if it's 1,000 feet away, but I feel like at that point it's too close to be of value.
I actually, and this is Karen's going to speak up, I can shoot things from further than 1,000 feet away, so I'm sure they can if they have shipboard cannons and such.
Do you have anyone on board with locate object?
I'm sure someone here has locate object, sure. That's a very easy, simple spell to cast.
Mm-hmm. If you cast locate object on a submarine, you can tell which direction it's in. That'll
Are
give
we
you.
are we developing anti-submarine warfare right here and right now?
I think we are.
And then if you get more than one ping in a specific direction, I would suggest running.
I
don't know.
That's really not our
What's-
thing, but
What are the
Eh.
submarines made of, Sim? Because we've seen
Mithril.
them. So they're made of mithril. If you could
That's
somehow
an interesting, that is an interesting thought. So we weren't sure what they were made of. We really weren't. And we thought it was possible that they were made of mithril because the shiny silverish blue color. But here's the thing. Brescia does not have a major source of mithril.
But I have
All
a feeling
all
Brescia
mithril
has,
comes from the dwarven mountain homes.
and I have a feeling that something's been going on there. And it's in a dire strait because of something that the captain and the crew came across. It was a slaughter of numerous dwarven people. And we saw some members of the Brescian nobility leading the way back down the hill.
Heard about that on the radio. That there was some sort of, but they said it was the Havern Union that had done the.
It wasn't. It was Brescia.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense that it would be Havern, but. All right.
I'm looking up the name. Hang on.
That's okay. Fairless will speak up and say, so I think that spell, the locate spell, it makes more sense to locate a submarine than it would just mithril. If only because in case there happen to be ships out there that are not subs with mithril on them, it's just going to muddy up the water, to use a term. But if you specify a submarine, that is all you should get. Now, I have not tried it, but I've used that spell before, and that's the way it should work. And Fairless actually makes a mental note that, yeah, tomorrow she should prep that spell. Because, yeah, it's describe or name an object that is familiar to you. You sense this direction. And if the object is a submarine, it should only pick up submarines. Now, if there's, like she said, more than one in the water, it's going to go bing, 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 and then things are bad.
Submarine warfare generally. Let's just compare this to real life to give you guys a baseline. I'm not sure if you guys are already aware of some of this stuff, just tell me already and we can skip it. But in submarine warfare generally, submarines need to be near the surface to make attacks, especially on attack ship on surface ships. Obviously, you can't really do it unless you're on the surface. So most of the time when they're on an attack run, you can see them because they're part of them is either above the surface or you can see the wake that they're leaving for being just a little bit under the surface.
Yeah.
So once they're already on an attack run, then you can see them fine. Problem is, most of the time they're gonna be more than 1,000 feet away from you until they're getting close to making their attack runs.
Right.
Maybe. Because I'm just thinking if it's 1,000 feet, and they're sitting at that depth of we're not making an attack run, but we're watching, being able to ping and know, 900 feet in that direction, there's a sub before they surface could be the minute or two we need to maneuver.
Well, that's a level of interest.
The question.
It suddenly hits me. Because, like, while we're talking about this, I'm like, how do they determine where their targets are? Right? Because they need to be able to know from.
The
They don't
submarines?
have sonar.
Yeah.
They
No,
don't
but
have actual sonar. But you know what they do have? Locate object.
Yep.
Well, and we've already experienced the dwarves deciding that they are going to mark every single ship they come across. Why would they be the
Yep.
only ones doing such a thing?
Mhm.
So they do have locate. Oh, I love this as an idea for two reasons. So first of all, it
I'm
means that
nervous.
it means that locate object works to detect them because they have to be within range of locate object to detect you in order to figure out that you're there.
Question. With ships
Okay.
having a consciousness that you can talk to, are they
Oh,
still objects?
here we go. That's the joke. That was my second point. The second thing that's really interesting is that means if your ship isn't an object,
It won't.
that you might be invisible to submarine sonar. For like,
So we need to figure out a way to make that spell permanent. Essequat just got a best buddy.
Well, it is, right? I mean, that's how we figure
It's not permanent. We have to cast it each time.
Well, here's the thing. It did work last time, even though Speak with Ships hadn't been cast in the last couple minutes. It had been cast that day, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so
interesting.
You don't know for sure. Like, is it forever, or is it today? The ship has a consciousness, because the way it's been interpreted, when you cast that spell, it suddenly comes back to consciousness and then recalls all of the stuff that happened before it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you haven't done extensive testing to find the limits of how this works exactly.
Okay.
But we know at the very least, sometime during the day, the ship had to speak with ship happen. And then later that day, well, hours afterwards, we were able to cloak the
Yes.
ship because it was a creature. I mean, there's, and Verlos will say this, there are plenty of ways. I mean, we went to school for many, many years and studied many, many ways of navigating. And there are people who have talents to spot things from very far away that I will never have. And I've got talents that some of them will never have. So, assuming things, we could be here all day if we're trying to account for every single variable. All we can do is do what we can. As far as looking for those submarines, yeah, trying to locate them, trying to divine them, trying to keep an eye out for them if they're close to the surface. That's the most obvious things.
If they can, I was thinking for sure, if they can detect you, you should be able to detect them somehow. They have the same problems of sight that you have. They can't see beyond certain distance.
Well, hopefully, if we do this planning right, we are able to figure out how you can distract enough of these ships and potentially submarines to make enough of a hole that we can slip through unnoticed and you still get away unharmed. That's the purpose of this meeting right here.
Yes, I like this. I like this as a concept. So, the honestly, I all right. So we need to figure out a way. I think. I think the best bet is they're going to be using the same magic you were just talking about, locate object. It makes the most sense that they would use that to determine where their targets are. So, our ship will always be vulnerable to submarines as long as they can use the locate object spell on us. So we need to figure out a way to invalidate that, but we can't. I honestly don't know any ways that that's possible. And because I worry about our ship as much as any, I've seen what those submarines can do. But if we do attract their ire from a distance, the problem is if we attract their ire from too far away, then the submarines won't follow us and therefore won't be distracted. We might get the surface ships to come our way, but we would be leaving the submarines behind, and then you'd have to deal with all of them. Yes, this is a. What do you have as an idea for that?
So
We need a decoy for the decoy.
A
Here's-
decoy for the decoy.
here's what I'm
Ooh, I
thinking.
love adding complexity to a plan. It's always fun.
Here's what I'm thinking. We spoke with someone who said they'd be willing to help Harry the ships, if you remember. Another captain we ran into.
You're thinking about bringing in.
Her.
Uh,
Who is her?
yeah, unfortunately, or fortunately, there's several people you could still be talking about.
And she'll glance at Clayton. The captain with no name.
Oh, the captain with no name.
I mean, that's a
Wait.
discussion we'll have to have with the
Mm.
rest of our crew before we go in that direction. That is a very
And I'm just gonna toss a grin at Clayton and then turn back to Furloughs.
that's a very, very big gun for this problem that I still think we can
I think we
solve.
might need to hold off on her for returning to Brescia.
There's yes. Um
What have you done that has allowed you to have the favor of the captain with, if you don't mind my asking?
No clue.
um you know, to be honest, it's a very, very long story. And our time is a little short.
Well,
And I
we're a day and a half out. I think we've got time.
and I don't know if I feel like I have permission to tell that story.
All right, fair enough.
And I want to, like, I'm looking right at him when he says, you know, how'd you get permission? You know, how'd you get the favor? Is he like, are we actually talking about the same person? Does he realize who we're talking about?
Yeah.
And okay.
The
And
captain with no name. So there are legends that I can tell you right now. This is a well-known event that has occurred. The captain with no name, provided favor to Christine Saxton
yeah.
and basically empowered her ship to be able to do things that normal ships can't do, like yours kind
Right.
of is empowered a bit.
Yeah.
So the captain with no name is a well-known legend in the pirating community.
Okay.
And not even legend because it's confirmed. It's a thing. It's a real, actual event that happened.
Yeah, but we know that this captain has been out of out of communication for a little while. So
Yeah.
I want to make sure that
also in the realm that the captain with no name frequents most of the time.
Okay. Yeah. I think Perilous is gonna stick to her guns and be like, that is neither here nor there. And also, like I said, let's think of that as a last resort plan.
Of course. Anytime you have resources, it's best to save them for the last possible point. Because when things are at their most dire, that is when you should use your resources and never before, even if you have a surplus of them. Because it is always good to have a backup plan.
So, let me ask you this then. If we're accepting these cannons from you and this help, does that mean we're a favor in the back pocket? What do you get
you
out
feel-
of this?
We're
One, an amazing story. Two, I very much would like it if you would impart to the Duke Jameau that we assisted in delivering food to the Isle de Hombres. And three, perhaps if perhaps the Duke Jameau can negotiate some sort of peaceful settlement between the warring factions. I very much would like to. Uh, I would love to be able to drink with Christine Saxton again, rather than meet her in cannon fire across the seas.
well, we've already promised the second one. We can at least send along that request for the third one, but we can't guarantee anything along that line.
I can at least guarantee you the first one.
I would like to think that all the pirates are invested in trying to help these Brescians, and all of you working towards that same goal will go a little ways towards repairing
Well,
any kind of relationship breach that you have had.
perhaps. I mean, Morris, I feel like he would probably be less inclined. I mean, okay, so Christine is good friends with Duke Chameau. I very much would like to be good friends with Duke Chameau. And of course, Morris is a privateer for the Havern Union. And they're not at war with the Brescians, so there would be very little chance of him participating in any sort of anti-Brescian activities, unless we can prove what you said earlier about there being dwarven and perhaps Brescian collusion, cooperation problems, maybe? I'm not entirely sure what their deal is.
If we can find a specific flump who was there at the time, they can corroborate what happened. But at the moment, we are not in a position to be able to track them down.
It would be nice, though, if all three of the pirate
We
team...
actually, Captain, I can. I can
Well, we
reach
could-
him right now.
If you would like, I don't know where they are.
I don't need to. God, please tell
And
me I'm
now
thinking of the right character.
Yeah, the
And now
flump.
I am,
suddenly
yes.
I need to remember...
Yeah,
And now suddenly I need to remember Roscoe's voice.
Roscoe P. Coltrane. No, that's.
Roscoe the Flump.
I mean, we know that he's off
Flump.
with the flump.
Flump with a gun.
Yeah,
Flump with a
Flump
gun.
Force
Flump Force
5.
5, yeah.
Gumph?
He's doing an A-team right now.
Yeah.
Yes, he is. Do you want me to reach out to him, Captain?
Let's.
I can hold
Yes.
off on this until we're in another situation if you'd prefer.
Yeah, this is a good idea for a different time. I would like to stay on track, but we definitely need to reach out to him because he is, as far as I can figure out, the one person who can.
He's the
who
witness.
has- yeah, he has not just the witness, but can corroborate our story and be able to convince the Havern Union about what, and everybody else about what actually happened. And then you have the Havern Union helping out. And then
Just
you
to
have all
make
three.
things a little simpler for you.
Yes, I like simple.
What does crinkles mean?
Did we just lose Sim?
Yeah, I think we did.
Oh no!
Oh no!
I mean, a
Alright.
GM-less game is very simple.
Oh, you heard my snacks. It actually wasn't snacks. I'm sorry. I got these little frames that have like a plastic film, and they're smaller than what I was expecting, but let me show you.
Today's
As long as we're waiting.
yeah, been the day of.
Oh, and now everything's out of alignment. All right, so
Today's just been the bad day of.
it's
yeah.
it's a tech goblin day, I'm telling you. Tech gremlin, sorry.
Yeah.
Gremlins are techie. But let's see if they fit. Oh no! Just barely don't, I think. Wait. Oh, they fit! So they have this,
I
like,
mean-
plastic sheet, like, and then you just put your dice in it, and it comes with a little stand. Ta-da! And you can display your dice.
So that's adorable. Unfortunately, the overlay is all of the. Okay.
I
there we go.
know, I
It-
know. I'll show it
yeah.
when we're back. I can't. I've already got two things,
Yeah. No.
devices,
that's-
3 devices actually, because my computer too.
And as much as I joke about, it'll be a much easier game without a GM. It's kind of an impossible game without a GM. So,
Yeah.
I think now is a good time for us to take a really quick break.
I think that's a great idea.
We'll take
actually,
a tiny
I've
little break, and hopefully
literally
Sim
just
will be
thought of that.
back momentarily. And if Sim is not back momentarily, we will be back.
Why
and we will
don't
wrap
Why
things
don't we
up.
just say we will be back at 7:20?
Sounds good.
Okay.
We'll be back at 7:20 with an update.
Yep.
Fingers crossed, everybody, that the tech gremlins finally stop.
Yeah. All right. Going to break now.
Ahoy hoy and welcome back. I am no longer. I don't know what did it look like when I went my internet died there. Was
You
I just frozen or
You're
did
just
it just
frozen.
immediately?
Yeah, you were literally in the middle of saying, "Let me make this simpler," and then you just froze. And then it was
Sure.
like, "Well, this I guess makes it simpler if you leave, but
It is simpler. It's
not
just
not
not
in the way
good.
that makes it fun." But
Mm-mm.
like, okay,
Uh,
Not
we'll
not in the way we like.
yeah,
my internet died. We're just this is not this is an unlucky stream. Let's put it that way.
we're
Uh,
doing our best.
Cartography by Shane Peku, Cartography by Shane Peku Sci-Fi, Maps by Luke Stratton, Maps by Eightfold Paper, Music by Tabletop Audio, Character Tokens by Greek 46, Custom Tokens by Shane Peku Tokens, Overlay Art by Packstream, Custom World Map by Freckles Sketches, and Logo by Luke McCay.
Hey, big special thank you to Buzz Lightyear, who pointed out that gift subs are on sale for the next 17 hours. You get gifted subs at 35%, 35% off. So
Hey.
you can go to any channel for creators that you want to support and throw them a couple gift subs.
Any
It's,
channel,
yeah, any
including this
channel.
one.
Any channel you can think of. Maybe one that talks about players and a book.
But also, yes, that reminded me though. Thank you to our moderators, Billet and Strike Red Kite. So let me make this simpler for you.
Thank you.
Roscoe, uh, Roscoe, I'm pretty sure this is where I was.
Yeah, I haven't. I was gonna send the sending later. Not right
Yes,
now.
I remember I was gonna clarify something about Roscoe's situation, but I can't remember what the question was. Roscoe is okay, so it seems very clear that he okay, I remember now. Okay. We're
Okay.
good. We're good. Sorry. You guys were saying that you need to get him to like the Hivern Union to blah 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 blah, so they can convince them of what happened over there because he was a witness. However, he had to escape from military detention in the Hivern Union because they believed the story and put him in detention. So now he's trying to clear his name.
Mm,
Oh,
okay,
okay.
but
Yeah,
we would potentially be able to help him do that.
maybe.
That's true because we could corroborate his story, which is no, the Herd Union didn't attack. But,
Mm-hmm.
but, but, and this is what Fairless was saying. As much as we should do that, that is for another time. That is uh, something that we can't focus on right now.
The
Right
down the
now,
road problem, Captain.
down the sea road problem. Absolutely. After this is taken care of, we can figure out how we can even begin to help with that. But one thing at a time.
Sounds good.
First, how do we deal with the submarine? And we'll go from there.
Mm. I, as I said, if they're using locate object, which they must be, it's probably the easiest way to simplify finding their targets. Then they have to be within 1,000 feet of something in order to identify it and target it properly. And to make any attack runs, you would see it. Although they would still have obviously there's still a significant advantage in that they would be the ones initiating the encounter immediately and knowing. Ugh. If you don't know that they're there, they could make their attack well before you get to cast your version of the spell, and yes, it's a whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I have.
But perhaps a melding of magic, perhaps something that would extend the range of the ability, a clairvoyant ability of some sort. If you could extend the range of it and extend the range of the locate object, might make it more useful.
Maybe. But let me ask you a different question. It's pretty obvious for those of us who are looking for a sub what object we'd be looking for. We're searching for a sub. If you are doing the opposite, what exactly are you searching for? What is the object you're looking for? Are you looking for a ship? Are you looking for a specific kind of ship? Are you
For
looking
a
for
ship like what
sails?
we're sailing?
I'm just thinking about.
I mean, you could think of a ship's name and pinpoint that particular ship, potentially.
True, but if what you're trying to do is just keep a magical eye out for boats,
Mm.
ships in your area, and you're not looking for anything in specific, you do have to be semi specific with what the spell is
Yes.
looking for.
Mm-hmm.
What are you looking for?
Well, every ship has a name, so that's helpful.
But if you're not looking for a specific ship, if you're just looking for any ship to come crossing your path,
Well, that so one assumes that they would probably surface or come near the surface at least once or twice, or have someone on the surface communicating with them, able to identify a ship and say, "This is your target. Here's a description of it."
okay, but back that up a second. Let's say it is just a sub, just a submarine out in the water trying to use this spell to look to see if there's anybody up top.
Yes.
What are they searching for? Are they searching? Am I locating a ship? Am I locating a boat? Am I
I was
locating?
They would probably surface far away from their target and then visually identify it and then go back underwater
But that
and
would give
hopefully
them
not be
away.
spotted and hopefully not be. I mean, if all they have above water is a small part and they're far enough away, perhaps they could do this stealthily enough and not be spotted.
So the reason that I'm thinking about this is because in those situations, what we want to do, we don't have to, excuse me, we don't have to worry about an underwater sub because it's essentially going to be the same as the on the surface ships. They're going to be far enough away, it's going to be on the surface. But if what we're concerned about is an underwater sub trying to ping for a ship, a boat,
Yeah.
and being close enough to be able to get your ship when you're still far enough away that the other ships wouldn't think to chase you. I'm just wondering if we could figure out what kind of thing they'd be looking for, how we could fool them.
Well, the easiest way would be to make yourself look like you're one of their own ships.
Perhaps. Or, and Farrell's just kind of looks around a little bit. You've probably got some. There's a large enough ship that you've got some lifeboats on the side, right?
We have boats on the top deck. Yes.
Those are boats, right?
Yes.
But you would have put one of those in the water and send it off. It'd be a boat, right?
Right. Not a ship, a boat. Yes.
What's the difference?
Ships carry boats.
So you think a submarine might be looking for a ship but not a boat?
I would imagine boats are generally smaller, not as much of a threat. I mean, unless they were specifically needing to find a particular boat, then they would probably be looking for boats. But otherwise, they'd be looking for ships.
I'm just trying to pinpoint what they'd be looking for so we could fool them. Because if they're looking for a boat and we've got a bunch of laugh boats, we put
Mm.
a laugh boat in the water and
I
send it
can't.
on off.
I can't guess as the competency of whoever's manning the locate object spell or device. They may have a device that does it without needing to cast it themselves.
That's true.
However, there is one benefit to casting it yourself, and I think I think Karen will be able to do something quite useful that may give us an edge.
Oh.
Locate object has a range of 1,000 feet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fairly certain Karen can make that 2,000 feet.
That's a nifty trick.
If the others are limited to 1,000, then
Then
That
we
gives us
have twice the warning they will.
an incredible advantage, and an unexpected advantage at that.
One they won't see coming.
Also, for the audience's sake, and for players who might look this up later, locate object actually has a range of self. I'm just saying that distance spell will double it anyway. That's what we're living with.
Because sorcerer.
Technically, it's a range of self, so technically it wouldn't work on locate object, but it's
Hmm.
going to work on locate object. So I think
I
that's
mean,
fun.
you could finagle that. There's wording there that you
Yeah.
can, but anyway. Okay, so you strafe by a specific part of the blockade.
Yes.
You get close enough to figure out whether there's any subs you need to be careful of, so that you can remaneuver to put yourself where hopefully only ships are. We follow you. You lead those ships away, and we follow your tail directly into the island.
Well, considering that you're going to be a clearly visible, there needs to be a way for you to maneuver around.
We've got that covered.
We will not be clearly visible.
That changes things considerably, especially for planning.
Now,
if
it
you-
should be noted that the displacement of water it was still a factor, wasn't it?
Nope,
Yeah.
it
I
was
thought-
not. I was very clear. I thought I was being very clear when I said it. No, when the bird went up and took a look at to see what the thing was going, that's the
Oh.
only addition that Kara added to the spell of regular invisibility is that the ships don't
Ah.
displace, or the invisible ships don't displace water visibly.
Got it. Okay. I misunderstood
that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Well, it's not going to be a problem.
So you can be. The hell, do you even need a distract? Well, distraction will still be helpful,
We do.
just in case.
Absolutely. But now you see why we were
Besides, you want
fairly
to.
we were fairly confident we could do this without a distraction, but like
We
you like
want
to
to give
say,
you the opportunity to impress Lord Jamil.
That strongly simplifies things.
it does. Also,
We just need to fire at them, get some people's attention, and then you go through the gap.
and having
Even
a
if
backup
we don't get the
plan.
submarines, even if we don't get the submarines, it won't matter. They won't be able to see you.
Hopefully.
As long as we don't run into him, we'll be fine.
It's always
But
good to
I
have a
wouldn't
backup
imagine
plan.
they can have them too shallow. Because you don't want a submarine beaching.
Well, in general, it's complicated. But yes, they can't get too close to the coast without being basically above water and acting like a ship at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But yes.
At this point, Fairless is going to roll out her map, and let's take a look.
Let's take a look at the map.
Yeah, she's going to start to compare using Tallulah and the captain's not. They're going to know a lot more about where we could land the ship in a safe enough spot that we wouldn't be necessarily immediately spotted when we start to essentially drop off the grain, because we're going to need to eventually unload the grain, so we're not going to be able to stay invisible forever, but we need to get to the island. So
allow me to show you the map that you guys would be showing up in once you get to the island.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I'm hoping 2 maps and 2 heads and a lot of knowledge, and we'll be able to go there.
I'm looking for it as well, just so you know. Oh, I know how to get it. Discord.
And sorry, excuse me. All right, so we'll move you to this map.
World information.
So this would be where you would stop, basically at the bottom of this map.
Okay.
Just before the little bridge.
Hang on a second for me, please.
Okay.
I want to make sure I'm showing what you're trying to show.
Yep.
Okay, I've got the island.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so the this is where you guys would stop off. This is sort of like the beginning of the entrance to the Smuggler's Cove. Um, Ships generally stop here. I will say that the map you're currently looking at actually shows, and this particular thing.
Oh, jeez.
You were seeking. I don't know
Um,
what it is, but I love it.
And the sudden dragon.
yeah. This is so legend has it that the Isle de Hombres is protected by a sea dragon.
Okay.
Um, generally, the idea would be that you guys would come, and so this is a small like river, not really a river so much as like, but it is a body of water that flows out into the ocean from the mountains on the Isle de Hombres, and you guys would be able to sail into the island itself through that waterway because your ship is just a sloop, so it's very easily going to be able to navigate these waterways
Mm-hmm.
and stop here. So you would be protected inside the island.
Okay.
You just need to get to the entrance to that waterway, and by the time you get into it, you're pretty much good.
Okay.
Okay.
And
let's
when
go.
we kind of roll out the full size map of the island and all the water around it and kind of triangulate from there.
That's yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
You look at it and be like, okay, so here's where we have to approach from. It's
Yeah.
also you're looking at the map. It's the only approach.
Mm.
Okay.
That
So
makes
you know
it
the
a
island
little
is
easier to decide then.
well.
Mm,
There's also negatives to that. You
Mm-hmm.
know that the island is surrounded, but regardless if there's only one true inlet to the island, like waterway wise, it's probably also the most defended location.
yeah. That's what's going to be the most guarded.
But yes, if you can get
What if
in
we could
here,
get them a message that something was happening back at Brescia and convince them to go back?
they wouldn't accept any sort of warning except from one of the members of the royal high family. So
What if we could get access to one?
how would you do that?
Well, I happen to know someone who's there. Well, I don't know him personally, but we had a little insight as to who's on the island currently. And
Okay.
one of the royal family is there.
Which one?
His Highness.
Oh, the son, the fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
I I don't think that's going to do you any good.
Well,
It would
there's
have to be it'd have to be either the empress herself or the crown princess. I doubt.
funny story about that. Apparently, I bear a resemblance to her.
No one's seen her. How would you know?
Well, because some members of the upper echelon noble families apparently have. I was mistaken for her.
So you can pass as the crown princess.
Passable. But I don't know what her attitude is like. That's the only problem.
Yes, no one's I don't not that I know of. No one's met or seen her. So
He might
that could
have.
be interesting. How would you contact the ships though in a way that would prove yourself to be her?
Oh, that I'd have to figure out. This is just spitballing at this point.
Hmm.
It's also reasonable to think that anything that you would do, even as her, would not pull all the ships away. So we would still have a blockade to deal with.
I'm more thinking if we can just buy some time. We just need to buy enough time
A
for us to
military
slip through
operation
that
of
gap.
this I would argue, and Karen's actually going to speak up. I would argue that a military operation of this caliber and importance, they're probably in constant contact
That's a
with
good
their
point.
home base.
That's fair. There's got to be a way
If not all of the, even if not the capital ship, someone on some ship is probably constantly back and forth things on various times.
The sea dragon, is that's a commonly known
That is a
legend?
legend. Yeah. That has not that there's no confirmation on that one.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
just a legend that protects the
Now here's
city.
the question. Every myth has a core of truth to it, right? So what's the core
No.
of truth to the sea
No,
dragon?
that's not true.
Yeah, I like to think it is.
Speaking as a legend, I will say no, I don't think so. But what were you going to say? I'm sorry.
There's something. I feel like there's no smoke without a fire in the case of the sea dragon.
Well, I
Maybe
mean,
it's not. Maybe it's not an animal? Could be that it's something else. Maybe it's another ship. I mean, if you're looking at it literally, that's one thing, but what if you look at it as more of a metaphor?
I try not to think of things purely as metaphors. It gives me a headache.
Well,
We've
not
been
purely
thinking,
this one thing, though.
we've been having to think of things in narrative ways recently.
Narrative. Story.
Oh, please. I think we can all agree that you, Captain Clayton, are a fan of a good story.
Oh, I'm certainly a fan of a good story. Karen there, however,
Karen, not a fan of a story.
not a fan of stories in general. Feels very grounded, we'll say.
Ah, interesting. All right.
But but let me tell you something. She's a dreamer just like us.
Oh, I
Or
love
else
it.
she wouldn't be here.
There is a difference between being a fan of a story and a dreamer, and you can definitely enjoy being grounded and also dream big. And so I'm with you, Karen.
I don't know. I like it big and bold, personally.
Here's my thought. At the moment, I think our best option is to keep it small and simple and get ourselves in there. Once we are in there, we have access to a lot of people with a lot of resources that we can talk to about doing something coordinated with a lot of others. I think the one good thing about this blockade is it's put a lot of Brescian's resources in one very, very stable place. And so
Man.
if you had, say, the resources to put together an army to do a counterattack, this would be a very bad place to be sitting on your butts in the ocean waiting. But
Well,
that is not something we can do until we have a chance to put that army together.
So
You've
then what
given
we
me
need to come up with is the quick distraction that's going to get as many of the ships out of that narrow channel as we can.
I think perhaps that you are missing the more obvious fun that could be had. With the military occupied with the Isle de Hombres,
Brescia is wide open.
Brescia itself is open for a rebellion.
It's only open for a rebellion if it is an organized one that can't be very easily squashed by having a couple of these ships go back. So
It's true.
it is a
I
good idea that needs a little bit of planning and organization.
When you speak to the Duke Jameau, tell him that the Kasdan Clayton, the Sister Zavala, and my entire fleet will be at his disposal if needed to support any insurgency in Brescia.
I think that will be of great interest to him. And that is a plan I think he'll be interested in putting forward. And we have our own interests for getting into Brescia.
Yes, I like this. This could be quite fun.
But
Oh boy.
first,
We're going to overthrow some fucking fascists.
But first, we're going to get some food to some people who need it in a very simple way.
Speaking of food, since we have this planned out, would you all like to stay for dinner? And you can invite your friends.
You're not Faye, are you?
No. I
I'm
don't
open
think
to it
so.
then. I'll break bread with you.
Good.
Are you going to drink my mead?
I
It's an exchange. No, actual mead, like a bottle of mead.
Okay, I just, of course, yes. Sorry,
I don't know you that well yet, Captain.
I was very confused.
If it helps, she, every time that she speaks, we often think that she means more than what she's saying. So it's not just you.
Understandable. Well, I'm going to go get my partner, Karen, and a few others of my officers, and I will meet you in the dining hall if you would like to get
You have
your.
a dining hall on your ship?
It's a very big ship.
It's a very small dining hall, but yes, it's a very big ship and a very small dining hall. But we do have a dining hall.
Amazing.
Dining room, perhaps, it's a more accurate way to describe it. I like to describe things as perhaps a bit
Ostentatious.
more ostentatious than they are. Yes, but get your friends and meet us for dinner in about, let's say, a couple of hours.
All right.
It would be a pleasure.
Be a little bit of an early dinner, say 5.
Sounds like a plan.
All right.
Hopefully I'll come to the table with some information from His Grace.
Of course. All right. Yes, I like this. I like this a lot. This is going to be so much fun. I am so glad I came across you and we didn't destroy your ship.
Thank you for not blasting us out of the water. It was very kind.
Karen rolls her eyes at the mention of that. You guys don't have to insight it to realize that he was never going to blow your ship
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
Yeah. Fairlos just stays very neutral. Just like, we're working with these people. It's going to be fine. I'm not going to antagonize them. Sure, it's fine.
Meanwhile, Tallulah's like, we're working with these people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a good spot for us to break for
Sounds
this
good.
session. Since we're short on people, I want everyone to be here for the dinner and then the rest
Yeah.
of it. And also, I guarantee you at some point, Essequa would want to speak with this ship
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
before you
I
guys
mean,
depart.
honestly, I didn't think about it until afterwards, but one of the other reasons that I would want Essequa to stay on our ship for at least a little bit is to talk to our ship to see
Right.
what our ship says about their ship.
Well, you have the gangplank on, so
Exactly.
technically you can speak
Ooh.
to both ships.
I think we
currently.
all know what Essequa's been doing.
That's exactly what I thought. Yes,
I
thought
didn't
the
think
exact
about
same
it
thing.
until we were walking across, and I'd
Yeah.
already
when
did
we
so.
start
Yeah.
when we start the next session, I plan to be like, Essequa, you've been. I mean, I'll bring that up with Essequa just
Yep.
to be sure. But I'm pretty sure Essequa currently is talking to both ships.
Yep.
That seems fair, yeah.
But yeah, I think that's a good spot for us to break.
Yeah.
I'll move you guys to the extremely small dining room that he created, just so you guys can see it over here. But
Oh,
yes,
hang
it's
on, I gotta
definitely not gonna sit
open.
with his back to the door because it's just not his deal.
Is this it? Oh, look at that. Where's the little dining room?
Yeah.
There we go.
Also on the deck of many things.
Yeah, I'm also not sitting with my back to the door.
Yeah, I was gonna say I put you there, but you don't have to.
No, nope.
I will.
No. Okay, I was gonna say none of the pirates will sit with their backs to the door. That
Nope,
seat is always left open. Actually, under
Tallulah
normal
sits there.
circumstances.
She sits there, but she pulls out a little compact and sets it on the table so the mirror is showing the door.
You sit there and everybody just turns to you
so you'll notice
incredulous.
another thing you'll notice then when dinner does start, and then we'll cover this more next time. There will still be an empty seat, and there will be a plate made for that seat, even if you are sitting in. If you're sitting there, it'll be a different seat.
Interesting. Okay. Who is their missing companion?
And with that,
okay.
let's go into credits. Cartography by Shay and Peku. Cartography by Shay and Peku Sci-Fi. Maps by Luke Stratton. Maps by Eightfold Paper. Music by Tabletop Audio. Character tokens by Greek 46. Custom tokens by Shay and Peku Tokens. Overlay art by Packstream. Custom world map by Freckles Sketches. And logo by Luke McCay.
Oh, I gotta
Thank
get
you
that
to our
added.
moderators, Billith and Strike Red Kite. And let's make sure we go to both of you. And what do you guys got going on in your lives?
Oh, hi. My name is Katie Downey, aka Goblin Katie. Hi. I really appreciate everybody showing up tonight. Big thank you again to our mods. We love our mods. Big mod love. Strike, Billith, you guys are wonderful and awesome, and we really appreciate you. Let's see. As far as stuff going on, not that much, but I do want to point out one more time that there is a sale right now, 30% off on gift sub bundles. So if you have a channel you'd like to support, now is the time. I understand that it's like 17 hours left, I think Buzz said. So today is the day if you want to take advantage of that.
Also, thank you to everyone who has subbed and gifted subs.
Yeah, I was about to run through the list.
Oh, do that. Yes, yes. I was gonna say I don't have the names.
No, I am ridiculous and do. Thank you very much to Buzz Lightyear, Fuel, and Lurking Rider. Oh, yeah, and Lurking Rider.
Hey.
We appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. We appreciate the gifts and the subs and bits and everything y'all do. Thank you.
Yep, all the stuff that
Oh
you
my
do
God!
goes back into
Plume Bob!
What's
Thank
goes
that?
back into
you.
Plume Bob, apparently. What?
We thank Plume Bob too.
Oh, Puma.
Oh, thank you. It all goes back into paying for overlays and paying for art and paying for, all the stuff that we do. So thank you for all of that. And thank you to Plume Bob, who I guess just did some more of the gifting. Hi, I'm Lauren Urban. You can find the stuff I'm doing at lauren-urban.com. You can also go to my Blue Sky, which is lauren-urban.com. On Blue Sky. It's the Blue Ski. I'm over there. The other place you can consistently find me is on the Crit Hit Chronicles channel on Fridays. You can see me playing in an actual play show that takes place canonically after the events of Baldur's Gate 3 called Shadows Over Baldur's Gate, where I'm playing a dragonborn ranger named Udazash, who's from the Feywild, who is as different from Fairlos as you can possibly imagine, maybe even more. Her life goal right now is she just saw a ballista. She wants to shoot it really badly, even if it means storming an entire castle. She wants to
Amazing.
shoot a ballista. Yeah. You might also see that I think it's April 1st. And I'm never going to talk about April Fool's Day. It doesn't happen. Not this year anyway. On April 1st, I believe, is when the 2025 Crit Award nominations open up. And so you'll probably see us and a whole bunch of other really amazing shows put out, their stuff and say, hey, would you nominate us for the Crit Awards? Because they're awesome. And definitely go and watch people's stuff. Go watch a whole bunch of the clips that people will put out. And if you feel like nominating us for any of the awards, that would be awesome. But take the time when people post to just go watch people's stuff, because it's a chance to go see a whole bunch of clips of people doing awesome TTRPG stuff all over the internet. And so, yeah, spend some time on Tuesday and enjoy all of the things. And if you happen to feel like sending off a nomination for us, then even better. And thank you.
Thank you very much. And I think that's it. So try not to die. And we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Peace.